Hey there, fellow kids. It's me again, Joseph, your host and catechist. Welcome back to our channel and the Catechism for Kids series. Do you know that there are different groups of priests in the Catholic Church? Some wear a habit that looks like this. They're called the Franciscans. Other priests look like this. They're called the Dominicans. Today we're going to talk about another group of priests called the Jesuits. You might have heard them called the Society of Jesus. So what is the Jesuit order? So let's learn about it together in this episode of Catechism for Kids. Before we begin, if you haven't already, please click that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. The Jesuit order, or the Society of Jesus, is a religious order of priests and brothers within the Catholic Church. Founded by Saint Ignatius of Loyola in 1540, Jesuits are known for their commitment to education, missionary work, and social justice, and they serve the Church and the world under the motto Ad Majorem Dei Gloriam, a Latin phrase that means, for the greater glory of God. So, who was Saint Ignatius of Loyola? Anyone want to guess? No one? Okay then, let's take a look at his brief story. We actually have covered Saint Ignatius of Loyola's story in previous video. You can take a look in our channel. Anyway, let's continue. Saint Ignatius of Loyola was a Spanish soldier who, after being seriously wounded in battle, had a profound spiritual conversion while recovering. During his recovery, Ignatius experienced visions of Jesus and the Virgin Mary, which led him to dedicate his life to God. He began to keep a journal of his spiritual insights and prayer experiences, which later became his book, The Spiritual Exercises. After studying in Paris, Ignatius and 6 friends took vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience, forming the group that would become the Society of Jesus. Now kids, what do Jesuits do? Jesuits have a long history of being at the forefront of education, missionary work, and service to others. Number 1, education. Jesuits have founded schools, colleges, and universities all over the world, emphasizing academic excellence and encouraging students to use their knowledge to help others. The goal of Jesuit education is to form the whole person, mind, body, and soul. Number 2, missionary work. From the very beginning, Jesuits traveled to distant lands to spread the Christian faith. They established missions in places like Asia, Africa, and the Americas, often working to protect indigenous peoples. Number 3, social justice. In more recent times, Jesuits have become known for their focus on social justice and advocating for the poor. The 28th Superior General Pedro Arrupe famously challenged Jesuits to have a preferential option for the poor. Number 4, a fourth vow. In addition to the 3 standard vows of poverty, chastity, and obedience, some Jesuits take a 4th vow of special obedience to the Pope regarding mission. This means they promise to go wherever the Pope sends them to serve the Church. And do you know what is their role in the Church? Let's discover it together. The Jesuits played a significant role in the Counter-Reformation, period in the 16th and 17th centuries, when the Catholic Church sought to reform itself in response to the Protestant Reformation. Their missionary efforts also led to a revival of Catholicism in Europe. In 2013, the Church elected Pope Francis, who was the first Jesuit to become Pope, marking a new chapter in the order's history. Another good question that was given to me before. What is the Jesuit mission? The Jesuit mission is a mission of reconciliation, which encompasses reconciling with God, with one another, and with creation. The Society of Jesus pursues this mission through its ministries worldwide, guided by core values that emphasize faith, justice, and collaboration. The modern Jesuit mission is also shaped by 4 universal apostolic preferences, which were approved by Pope Francis for 2019 to 2029. There are some core aspects of the Jesuit mission. Let's take a look at them together. Number 1, service of faith and promotion of justice. Following a meeting in 1975, the Jesuits formalized their dual focus on serving the Christian faith and acting for justice. For Jesuits, the two are inseparable. A love of God must also include a love of and concern for one's neighbors, especially the poor and marginalized. Number 2, reconciliation. This is a core aspect of the Jesuit mission, involving work to restore relationships in a world broken by injustice and sin. The goal is to bring about reconciliation with God, among human beings, and with the environment. Number 3, men and women for and with others. This is a defining principle for alumni of Jesuit schools and for all who are part of the Jesuit mission. It signifies a commitment to use one's gifts to serve others, particularly the vulnerable, and to work alongside them in solidarity. Number 4. Magis the more. This Latin term, meaning more or greater, reflects the call to strive for excellence, not for personal gain, but for the greater glory of God, ad Majorem Dei Gloriam. It's a restless pursuit of excellence in everything they do, from academics to service. Currently, there is the Universal Apostolic Preferences from 2019 to 2029. Pope Francis approved for areas of focus to guide the Society of Jesus' mission and ministries for 10 years. They are: Number 1, showing the way to God, helping people encounter and develop a personal relationship with Christ. Through the spiritual exercises of Saint Ignatius and Ignatian discernment. Number 2, walking with the excluded, accompanying and working with the poor, outcasts, and those whose dignity has been violated, including migrants, refugees, and victims of abuse. Number 3, journeying with youth, accompanying young people in building a hope-filled future that is spiritually deep and focused on justice. And lastly, caring for our common home, collaborating with others to protect and heal God's creation, our planet, in response to the environmental crisis. Now let's talk about some famous Jesuits. Numerous members of the Jesuit order have been canonized as saints, recognized for their heroic virtue, missionary work, and dedication to the faith. The most famous Jesuit saints include the order's co-founders and various martyrs who spread the gospel in different parts of the world. First, let's take a look at the founders of the Society of Jesus. Number 1, Saint Ignatius of Loyola, the principal founder and first superior general of the Society of Jesus. Ignatius was a Spanish soldier who experienced a religious conversion after being wounded in battle. He wrote the influential book The Spiritual Exercises and is the patron saint of soldiers and spiritual retreats. Number 2, Saint Francis Xavier, a co-founder of the order. Francis Xavier was one of the first Jesuit missionaries and is renowned for his extensive travels throughout Asia. He is considered one of the greatest missionaries since St. Paul and is a co-patron of all foreign missions. Number 3, Saint Peter Faber, one of the original companions of Ignatius. Peter Faber was a Savoyard priest and theologian. He was known for his charisma and for giving the spiritual exercises throughout Europe during the Reformation. Now kids, there are also some martyrs of the Jesuit missions, such as Number 1, Saint Isaac Jogues and companions. These Jesuit missionaries worked among the indigenous peoples in North America in the 17th century. Along with René Goupil and Jean de Lalande, Jogues was martyred by the Mohawk and is honored as one of the North American martyrs. Number 2, Saint Paul Miki and companions, as one of the Japanese martyrs. Paul Miki was a Japanese Jesuit who was crucified in 1597 for preaching Christianity in Japan. Number 3, Saint Edmund Campion, an English Jesuit priest. Campion conducted an underground ministry in Anglican England during the Reformation. He was arrested, tortured, and executed for treason at Tyburn in 1581. You see, kids, some Jesuit saints are also doctors, theologians, and educators. For example, Number 1, Saint Peter Canisius, a Dutch Jesuit theologian. Canisius was instrumental in the Counter-Reformation in Germany. He is celebrated as a doctor of the Church for his clear exposition of Catholic dogma, most notably in his catechisms. Number 2, Saint Robert Bellarmine, an Italian Jesuit cardinal and doctor of the Church. Bellarmine was one of the most distinguished theologians of the 17th century and a prominent defender of Catholic teaching. Number 3, Saint Joseph of Anchieta, known as the Apostle of Brazil. This missionary was a founder of São Paulo and Rio de Janeiro. He is also considered the father of Brazilian literature for providing an orthography to the old Tupi language. And who could I forget? Pope Francis is the first Jesuit pope in the history of the Catholic Church. He's known for being a humble and compassionate leader who cares deeply for the poor and sick. He continues to inspire Catholics around the world to follow Jesus more closely and to care for those in need. Those are just some of the amazing things that Jesuit priests do. They're dedicated to serving God and helping others know Jesus through prayer, education, and action. That's all, kids, for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something about the Society of Jesus, but it's time for me to go now. Until next time, remember to always keep Jesus in your heart. Oh, and one more thing. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to share it with other families. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel. By sharing the joy of learning about our faith, together we can raise the next generation of saints. See you next time, and may the Lord bless you and keep you always.